Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge Short Flights. I'm your host Lance here to talk about the finale of Attack on Titan. Awesome. So happy. Okay, so we're going to talk about the final parts 1 and 2. The final season prior is great information, but we're all here because the last part was so good. Now, I want to open up today's discussion with talking about Levi. Did you guys think he was freaking dead? Oh, I was almost gonna be super pissed off when Levi. Let's just jump to the end. When everything's done, I just want to talk about Levi. He's sitting against that rock. He's seeing all his dead friends. I'm like, shit, he's dead. He didn't even get a happy ending. He's seen all of the dead friends just like Hanji did. And I was like, no. Luckily enough, our boy does get a happy ending in the sense that he's not dead. But man, was he such a badass. Of course, we know he got all sorts of messed up earlier. He lost some fingers, and when he was sitting there struggling, trying to like press the trigger for his gear just to test it out, and he was having a hard time with that. Felt so sorry for him, but of course, when push came to shove, and he's on Aaron's back, jumping around, zipping around, he's doing just fine, doing exactly what we'd like Levi to do. Levi. So I needed to get Levi off my chest. I was happy to see he was a badass. I was happy to see he survived the final battle, and happy to see him. Let's go back to really just the meat and potatoes of everything and just all the attacking on Aaron's back. What did you guys think of all those random ass Titans showing up on his back because of what the past people that were able to manifest into those forms through Ymir, because nothing is truly dead through Ymir. I thought that was all very interesting, confusing. I didn't like it at first. I learned to like it, and then I did like it. I was all over the place. How did you guys feel? So there's like 100 Titans sitting on Aaron's back. I thought it was super cool that every Titan had its own slight different variation of the Titans that we know in like our today's day. So they were all super cool. I mean, we only got one colossal Titan, and that was like half of one at best. So that I thought that was very interesting. And I thought when we saw that colossal sitting on his back, and he really didn't even do a whole lot. You'd expect the colossal to do a whole lot more, but that's okay. You got to have throw in a lot of anime logic into this show, so that's okay. Um, like the War Titans taking down the cart right before he's able to blow up the neck of Aaron. That was pretty sad. Dude just sat there like half the entire chapter, just hanging in the air by one of those pick forks. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, all of them looked really cool. I was totally on board with that. Everyone being like manifested back into them through like the spirits, that's okay. It's a stretch, but I accepted it eventually. Let's just jump again to like the actual ending of Aaron's life. So this is peak animation, how I feel about such an amazing action and battle scene when Levi and Mikasa are charging in towards Aaron, and they're flying down on him. Levi launches one of his thunder spears at Aaron's teeth, bursts open a freaking hole. Mikasa jumps in there and cuts off Aaron's head. Beautiful, kind of a weirdly beautiful ending. But that whole entire falling uh, moment where rocks are going everywhere and they're fighting through that, such beautiful animation. I was so impressed by all of that. So top notch. Also, on top of that, we got to rewind a little bit, I guess, was Aaron and Armin's Colossal Titan beatdown. It took me a moment to really realize that for whatever reason, Aaron went Colossal instead of attack. If I didn't like it at first. In fact, I would almost I can't say that because Colossal is so much taller than the Attack Titan is, so it had to be this way. And of course, the founder, the giant form, that one was just way too big. So I couldn't have gone that way either. So it had to be Colossal versus Colossal. That was a nice beatdown. It was it was interesting enough. Not as fun as watching like the Attack Titan or the female Titan beat up on each other through hardening and use actual like kung fu stuff or something. It was still interesting. Anyway, it all led down to Mikasa and Levi finishing it all off. That was all fun. But let's take another step backwards and let's talk about that freaking worm. So, the Hallucigenia, pretty sure that's how it's said. So, this is the one who's given the purpose of the Titans in the first place. The one who touched Ymir back in that tree and gave her the founding powers. And she's the one that uh, ultimately has say whether Titans exist or not. And because of that damn king that she fell in love with, she just kept this rampage going. So this worm threw me through quite a loop at that final battle scene. So we saw that the worm evacuated out of the Titan and got loose and was being held back by the armor Titan. And then I guess it was really cool that the worm ended up making all those other civilians into Titans. I thought that was actually a really interesting scene and then how it created its own army and all. So that was cool. But let me just say my biggest hang up was what the hell happened to that worm after Aaron's defeat because it was in the background being held back by the armor titan, the female titan, and the cart titan. And then all of a sudden, everything just went away. So I did a little bit of digging and a little bit of thinking. And the solution that I came up with was the worm disappeared and no longer became a threat after Aaron was able to get rid of all the Titans, period. And I think that was through the help of Ymir. And Ymir got help through Mikasa because she was going through Mikasa's thoughts and memories on how to basically be a normal person because Ymir was a slave her entire life and she knew no better. So she was just continuing the king's wishes for 2,000 years, creating titans, letting everyone be eaten to keep the thing going. God, this is so confusing at times, but it's it's so dense, it's so thick with all this information. So Ymir and Aaron end up canceling out Titans forever, and I think because of that, that hallucinogenia was able to finally disappear as well. So that's why we don't get to see it anymore. So let's just go with that one. A lot going on there. A lot of fun stuff in the battles. 80% of civilization was killed. Pretty crazy. And despite all of those deaths, war still continued. The Jaegerists still continued. You know, you'd think you'd learn better, but it just I that was another big takeaway was just that war is always going to happen. People suck. The world sucks, and that's just kind of how the world just has to go sometimes. One last thing I'd like to talk about is after Mikasa took off Aaron's head, of course she's gonna be all super sad about it and everything. But then when she kissed his head, oh, I was a little grossed out by that. Like, didn't care for that one. Didn't have to be a kiss, but okay. Mikasa had a nice little ending too. A nice little heartfelt ending where she was continuing to see Aaron's grave, even though she grew up, got married, had kids, and then eventually died by his grave too. A lot of emotions going on there. So I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, so been a long time. Attack on Titan's finally over. 100% pleased with how this ended, despite how there has been a slight variation with the manga. The creator wanted it to end this way, anime style. So it's canon enough. Happy with everything. What did you guys think of the ending? Let me know because that would be awesome to hear everyone else's experiences and opinions. And again, thanks for listening to me ramble on. Just wanted to get this out there. Later, guys.